U.S. Capitol police officer badly beaten during the Capitol insurrection is handing in his badge. Sergeant Aquilino Gonell says his last day on the job will be this Saturday, writing in a letter to his police chief, quote, "Having to return to the scene of the crime almost every day has become taxing, unbearable, and not conducive to healing." And we're honored to have Sergeant Aquilino Gonell joining us here in the studio in his first TV interview since announcing his resignation. How does it feel to be leaving a job that you felt passionately about taking in the first place?
Thanks for having me. It's tough making that decision after, 16 years. Almost half of my life I had dedicated to be a public servant, both in the military and also as a police officer. And I'm not leaving because of my own accord, but because they did that to me, the mob and the people who continue to support the former president.
Because your injuries were so bad that you couldn't do your job anymore, and also just the
PTSD and
PTSD,
also the certain range of motions on my shoulder. I'm able to do a lot of things with my arm, but I still have some limitation on it. So that's as a civilian, I could afford. I could have the luxury to walk away from an altercation or not making. If it become violent or not, as a police officer, I cannot do that. So.
And the last straw, was it that somebody taped a photograph of Donald Trump to your work computer? Was that just the final straw?
Yeah, roughly about 2 months ago. Normally, I watch some of the videos in relation to doing investigation or writing reports or testimony for court. And I guess some people thought I was just obsessing about it, but not knowing that I was actually doing work for the court and continue my work as a police officer. And I took a couple of days off, and when I came back, there was a picture of Donald Trump taped to my computer screen.
Do you think it was somebody joking around, somebody being a jerk, somebody trying to intimidate you? What's your interpretation of it?
I had no idea, but I did. First, I crumbled it, put it in the trash, but then I said to myself, no, I cannot let that happen, and because that's going to entice them to do it again. So I reach out to, I scan it, send it out to the chain of command and tell them, like, this is unacceptable, and it is very insensitive of whoever did it, whether they did it jesting or not.
Right, because you hold Donald Trump responsible for the riot. That's the reason. That's the point they were trying to get at.
I guess.
Speaking of January 6th, Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's been downplaying the riot since it happened. Last weekend, she went to an event, a New York Republican fundraiser, and she said that if she had led the attack, if she had been in charge of it, they would have, quote, won. Take a listen.
And I had organized that, we would have won. Not to mention, it would have been armed.
Now, she later said she was joking, but just to read that quote, if Steve Bannon and I had organized that, we would have won, not to mention it would have been armed. I mean, what's your response when you hear a congresswoman say that?
Well, that's coming from the same person that when I was giving my testimony in on July last year, she was in front of the Justice Department fighting for the patriots because
fighting for the people that have been arrested.
For the people who being arrested, and that's the kind of support that she thinks that we need. And the way I take it is that based on her comments and her actions, we were the police officer were the bad guy. Not the other way around, which is kind of crazy because
she's not alone, though. I mean, that's Donald Trump's response too. It's also, I heard when you and your colleagues testified, people on Fox were making fun of you.
I mean, if you take the whole incident of January 6th and you take it at their own house or a courthouse, wouldn't they want people to be held accountable? And wouldn't they want the police officers to take actions and prevent their own family members from being attacked? Because that's exactly what happened. The attack at the Capitol happened to them, and had it not been for the action that myself and my colleagues, along with the other agencies that came to support us, it would have been a bloodbath. And there's no doubt in my mind that.
Oh, no, of course, you guys are heroes. Yeah.
That in their mind, we were the people who were storming the Capitol, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We were there doing our job, and had it not been for our actions, there would have been a lot of members of Congress and senators, including officers, who would have been dead that day.
You think they would have been killed if you
Yes.
guys had
I mean,
stood your ground?
that's what they were saying to me at the police line before we lost it.
What are you going to do now?
I'm writing. Just completed a book. I turned it in today. It's called The American Treason. That's where I'm focusing now, on healing from my injuries and doing exercise, beginning to exercise a little more. Plan B, I don't know. I don't have one yet, but I'm open to suggestions.